there's a lot of talk about bringing paywalls to digital content services from the magazine, newspaper, publishing industry, and I think it misses what may be the real transition happening in digital content and services. When you look back historically, a newspaper pulled together rumor, innuendo, news, checked it. In the 18th, 19th century, the newspaper was the service of news gathering. Now, the paywall model kind of says, well, we'll do the service of news gathering, but then we're going to remind you on every single page view or some single page view beyond a certain count whether or not this news story is really worth it to you. I think that misses what the real opportunity is. The opportunity is to go back to the roots of what the newspaper business in some ways was, to a world where you're thinking about news as a service. And in many ways, you're now competing with Google Reader, not Google the search engine. And when you compete with Google Reader, you start thinking about how and why people use news, how you can bring them the news they want, and how that may be very different than a newspaper website is today. One of the questions I hear a lot is whether content companies face the same somewhat painful outcome that the music business faced, and we saw it firsthand at eMusic. I don't necessarily think that's true. I think the music industry was late to the game in thinking through how and when to go to the market. I think there's still an opportunity for content companies to go to the market, but I think they're going to have to do that very quickly. I think the fact that the music industry waited, didn't really believe the digital revolution was upon them, really educated the entire consumer base to do things that were not in the best interest of the business long term. Moving quickly, building these sorts of services that are compelling for users, that's the way that other industries can avoid the fate the music business faced. I'm often asked what Vindicia does to help media companies come to market, and one of the big things we really do is all the services beyond billing. It's understanding how to go to the market, what business models work, what business models don't work, and what the troubles with the different business models are, and why you might choose one over the other. We were active in helping Boxy think through what they'd have to do to bring a content store to market. We're helpful in bringing Vimeo the long-term customer life they need to really make their model work. And Next Issue Media, as they think through the challenges of the various channels, the app stores, how they get to devices, we've been there in some ways and done that in the previous revolution with the digital music side, and have a lot more than just some of the best billing infrastructure on the planet to bring to the table. We also have the business model expertise, the marketing expertise to help them figure out how to navigate these completely challenging new waters. In broadcast, I see a lot of very interesting challenges, especially with over-the-top or digital living room, however you want to put this. People are really looking at their television set as a third screen and more of a computer screen. They're saying, why can't I take my HDMI plug and do something very interesting with that? And all of a sudden, game consoles are colliding with Apple TV and Boxy, and then also with OnLive, and you get the situation where it's not clear what that device is, but it's very clear that lots of content and entertainment comes through it. All of a sudden, your television set is now an extension of how you use YouTube, how you use Vimeo, what's on your local storage area network. Who thought SAN would be home entertainment? But it is. And so what we see is a real opportunity for both content producers and then content stores to, in fact, coexist. We see certain pieces of content where people might very well originally subscribe to that from the original sports league or the original content provider, but then also have the opportunity to subscribe to that from a Samsung interface or a Boxy content store. Vindicia brings three core values to its clients. It's customer retention, customer acquisition, and operational excellence. On the customer retention side, we find the revenue you don't know you're missing. We'll raise your annual revenue as much as 10%, increase your average customer lifetime value. And what that does is not just it adds additional dollars to the top and bottom line, but it really funds the marketing acquisition campaign. Those additional customer lives give you the opportunity to spend more dollars creating that virtuous circle that you really want in these sorts of long-term average customer lifetime value businesses. On the customer acquisition side, it's really particularly about flexibility. A lot of our partners walk into these businesses thinking that either subscription or virtual goods are the primary model they want to use, and find out that for whatever reason, one or the other or a hybrid is actually the solution that really works for them. And that's both at the strategic level and the tactical level, letting marketers experiment with new opportunities, new offers, making that very easy to do. And then the operational excellence side, it's both the security, the peace of mind that we bring, offloading PCI, a bunch of ex-cryptographers coming to the table to make that easy for you. But it's really also having both personally and with all of our clients experienced all the different digital content and services models, and knowing where the pitfalls are, what works, what doesn't work, helping you save that time and experiment and put you in the right direction on the models that will most likely work in your sector with your opportunity.